The United Arab Emirates is a place where you can go to come back stunned. Home to one of the most exotic cities in the world, Dubai, UAE is a dream destination for anybody and everybody. Yet, it is also a place with a distant culture and you don't want to make the mistake of flying in unaware. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the country of UAE and things that are needed to be careful of doing and things you must avoid doing at all costs. UAE is just a gorgeous place and no traveler can resist the temptation to visit its beautiful sprawling deserts and its radiant cities, especially Dubai, easily the crown jewel in a great country. Yet, UAE is also a country that has a very unique culture, which may be completely different from your own culture, making it difficult to know the do's and don'ts, especially if you're a person who is visiting the country for the first time and is not aware of the different traditions breaking, which may put you in the worst kind of trouble. Tourism in the United Arab Emirates is an important component of the Emirati economy and consists of domestic and international components. In 2018, the tourist industry composed over 164.7 billion dirhams of the country's GDP. The country's major tourist attractions includes the famous BURJ Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest tower in the world. The World Archipelago and Palm Jumeirah are also in Dubai, Sheikh Zayed Mosque and Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi, Al Hajar Mountains in Fujairah. The uniqueness of the country's natural desert life, especially with the Bedouins, also facilitates the country's tourist industry. If you want to know how to be safer and to make sure that you don't get into any legal trouble while enjoying your stay and vacation in UAE, well then this is the perfect video for you. Even if you aren't taking a trip right away, these are some curious facts that will still be a great watch, so stay tuned to know the important do's and don'ts. The clothes that you're wearing is going to be very important during your stay in the UAE, as they will be scrutinized very much during your stay there. This is especially important if you're visiting any mosques in the country where the men are required to wear long pants or trousers, anything which covers their legs, while on the other hand, the men are required mandatorily to cover their hair by wearing scarves. The general rule is that the individual is required to cover their shoulders and knees. The clothes worn must not be very tight and revealing, whether you're a man or a woman. A sweater or a shawl which will allow you to cover these areas is a great accessory. Although be careful as the weather is very hot and therefore the clothes you are packing must not pack any heat, or else you'll spend your holiday sweating. Even public areas such as swimming pools or beaches still require people to cover themselves up, such as wearing a swimsuit. Shorts or not wearing shirts will not be appreciated. Therefore, it is important that when you are wearing swimwear, then it must be modest and not revealing. Cross-dressing might be a passion or a style statement for many, but not inside the confines of the United Arab Emirates, and its criminal law is completely against such a styled statement. If you feel that you are only to be afraid of the UAE police, then you must know that the countries also give up rewards to people who report cross-dressing, as dressing up as a woman is against their rules and hence it is not encouraged in the country. Also, make sure that the garments that you wear are such that you are not containing offensive images or texts which can be offensive to the Muslim religion in particular. Be very careful before you're going to be pointing fingers at anyone in UAE, as it is considered offensive to them. Especially if the finger is the middle one on your hand, could even be considered under the crime of indecency. On the other hand, if you absolutely must point at someone, then you can use your whole palm, which is considered a lot more polite. It is important within the UAE culture that if an important person enters the room, then you are required to stand up as a mark of respect. Men are expected to stand up for women when they enter the room. Another important behavior is to accept food only using your right hand and only supposed to eat the food given to you using the same hand. Sorry lefties, you may need to change your hand preference when you visit the UAE. Also, make sure you don't point your legs at someone or show your soles or even cross your legs when you sit down. Alcohol is haram in the Muslim religion and therefore it is not consumed as openly and as unregulated as in some other countries. Hence, alcohol is not available everywhere and anywhere. There are specific licensed restaurants, hotels, and bars. You need to be careful in ordering alcohol in these establishments. In UAE, if you are taking pictures of women in the UAE and then posting them on the internet, need their permission. There was even a case which was filed concerning the situation, where a tourist had taken photos of a woman during her wedding and had posted online, which didn't sit well with her, and she filed a local police complaint, which was taken seriously by the police and action was taken against the individual. Even then, it is allowed to consume alcohol. You must not consume it in the public areas, and drunk and disorderly is even more severely punished than in other countries. It is legal to drink alcohol inside your rooms, even if you're allowed to buy alcohol. If you drink them on non-alcohol beaches, then you will stand in violation of the laws. Driving under the influence of alcohol or narcotic substances is dealt with very harshly. Even something that may seem as harmless as one liqueur chocolate can be unacceptable. The penalties if you're found to be around 20,000 dirhams or $5,500 and along with nights behind bars. Well, another very common misgiving of the tourists when they travel to Dubai and other cities is that they indulge in public display of affection, or as commonly known PDA. UAE attracts many tourists and a good chunk of them will be coupled traveling to an exotic location. What you must be aware of is, if you're one of those looking to visit the country, be careful of publicly displaying affection. Even kissing on the cheek of your partner, even if you are married, could pose a difficult position with the officials. Law in Dubai also prohibits you to live with a person of the opposite gender without being married to them. If unmarried couples are found sharing a hotel room will be considered a crime. There isn't a strict check on the rule, but you must still be referring to each other as husband and wife, or else you may not be allowed into the hotel room. There is a strict code of conduct has been placed in the city of Dubai against the public display of affection. First and foremost, there is no discrimination between married and unmarried couples in this case. Kissing and embarrassing each other in the open is just not allowed. Holding hands if you are married is still frowned upon, but you might not invite any legal problems. Even though you might not find the police trying to police couples, however, there is the chance of many civilians who may report you and then get sued in the courts of UAE. The only interesting exception is that in airports, kissing someone might not be a problem, but anything other than that can cross the line. If you enter the country during the season of Ramadan by any chance, then there are a set of rules that will do you a world of good if you follow them. One of the most important customs that the Emiratis follow is to greet each other in the traditional Ramadan greetings of Ramadan Kareem or Ramadan Mubarak. Be careful when interacting with the Emirati as they are fasting, and hence when you're taking your meals, please do make sure that you're sitting in a separate to respect their practice. Iftar is a meal that is taken by Muslims after the Ramadan fast, in the evening after the sun has set. The dress code, as we mentioned, while going to the mosques must be followed even in public spaces during this season. This means that men and women must cover their knees and shoulders. If you're found eating, drinking, or chewing gum in the public, the locals may not be impressed by you, and they may take it as disrespectful. During the season, you must not smoke in public areas. The Emiratis during Ramadan take it as a period of reflection and completion, hence please refrain from playing loud music, which may lead to a police complaint. Make sure you restrain from offensive gestures. So, there you are guys, that is all you need to know when you're visiting UAE. These are the do's and don'ts in UAE, so make sure you will be following these rules of do's and don'ts. If you like the video and want to see more such content, then do give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe.